Live from News 7 KWWL, we've got you covered. This is KWWL News at 5.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Steele.
And I'm Abby Turpin. Thank you for joining us. And our top story, of course, a winter storm barreling through Iowa.
Of course, snow and blowing snow are expected to create some very rough traveling conditions over the next several hours, certainly all night into Saturday.
And some parts of our viewing area have been seeing snow for much of the afternoon. Here's some video out of the Dubuque area. On and off snow there today, with more on the way.
Right now, let's take a live look outside here at just about 5 o'clock along Interstate 380 in Cedar Rapids and Lynn County. Winter storm warnings are already in place, most until tonight or even through tomorrow morning as this storm tracks across the KWWL viewing area.
And plows are already hard at work. As we take a look at the US 53 North near Decorah, you can barely see out that windshield. And then Interstate 35 North near Mason City looks pretty similar. Snow on the ground, and again, more is on the way.
And of course, tonight here live at 5 o'clock for you on this Friday night, we do have Team 7 coverage to track this potentially dangerous storm all the way through.
That's right. We're going to hear from Storm Track 7 reporters Collin Dorsey, Taylor Vessel, and Jalyn Souchek, as well as reports from northwestern Iowa in just a few minutes.
But first of all, let's begin with, let's call him the man of the hour, okay?
That's right. Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg. Busy day for you so far, and it's only going to get more busy.
That's right. Last night we were talking about how the snow is going to move into our northern counties during the lunchtime and then eventually spread southeast as we get into the mid to late afternoon hours. Here we are, late afternoon into the evening. Snow to the north, already 1 to 4 inches of snow on the ground, and it's now starting to spread towards the south and east across portions of east central and southeast Iowa. So the timing of this has been pretty much right on. Snowfall amounts, this has not changed either. We're still looking at 4 to 8 inches of snow across eastern Iowa by the time we wake up here tomorrow morning. The heaviest of the snow will fall between 7 o'clock and midnight. There could be some locations with some isolated higher amounts, something we'll continue to track. So as for the warnings, they do remain in effect through the overnight hours into the morning here for tomorrow. Here's a look at Storm Track 7 live Doppler radar. Snow to the north, snow becoming more widespread farther to the south. As you can see, the darker blues are the heavier snow that continues to move across the region. In this area, we're talking already 1 to as much as 4 inches of snow. Waukon has 4, West Union 3 inches of snow, and you'll see just to the west of Cedar Rapids and Iowa City there's some snow, and this will continue to spread eastward, and we'll see that accumulate during the overnights. We'll take a look at the weekend, which is cold, in your Storm Track 7 forecast.
Hey, Mark, thank you very much. And of course, not just hard for those who have to drive in these conditions here in the next few hours. The weather makes it tough for first responders as well. For example, last night, or late yesterday afternoon, the clubhouse at the Lacoma Golf Course, that's in East Dubuque, caught on fire. KWWL's Collin Dorsey joins us live from the side of the Iowa River, and we know that a couple of firefighters had minor injuries, difficult conditions. Tell us more, because we know it was at least very icy over there last night, for sure.
Well, Ron, the scene in East Dubuque, much like across the river here in Dubuque, would have been pretty much a little bit different. Yesterday afternoon, there wouldn't have been a whole lot of snow on the ground. However, those temperatures would have still been well below freezing, making for some pretty tricky conditions out there. Now, the Lacoma Golf Course has been a family-run operation for decades. However, yesterday afternoon, a fire broke out near the bar of that clubhouse, and then it quickly spread to the second floor where most of that damage can be seen. I caught up with the East Dubuque Fire Chief earlier today, and he says cold added some challenges.
You get the runoff that you get from the water, and with the cold freezing temperatures, it's easier for it to freeze. We were able to get the city crew up here to throw salt, so we had most of the areas covered that would help with the slip injuries.
Now, one firefighter did, in fact, slip on some ice and hurt her arm. She was taken to a hospital where she was checked out and later released. And I can tell you, another firefighter was also taken to the hospital following that fire after breathing in some smoke while fighting that fire. He was also released from the hospital last night. Live in Dubuque, Collin Dorsey, News 7, KWWL.
Collin, thanks very much. Luckily, minor injuries to those dedicated firefighters. The owners of the golf course there in East Dubuque say they plan to rebuild, hopefully in the very near future. They say that they are just thankful that everyone was able to get out in time.
Continuing our Team 7 coverage of tonight's winter storm, and it is hitting during a bad time, the evening commute. Taking a live look right now in Waterloo, you can see many people out there just trying to get home for the weekend. And Storm Track 7 reporter Taylor Vessel is along 218 in Waterloo right now. Taylor, tell us how it's looking right now at this hour.
Yeah, Abby, roads aren't bad, but they're not necessarily great either. There's still quite a few drivers out right now, but not necessarily as many as you would expect on a rush hour on a Friday night. Now, one of the issues they could be facing tonight is visibility. The snow is so loose, and as you can see, has been blowing around by all the wind. Now, it's not recommended that you do any traveling tonight. But if you do have to get out on the roads for whatever reason, there are a few things you can take with you. AAA provides these types of survival kits to help drivers who get stranded. Most are things you already have at home, but there's also an item in the kit that your pet might have.
You know, it is always a good idea to carry some sand with you. If you can't get sand, take kitty litter. Take a bag of kitty litter with you, and that way you can put those under the tires so that you can get some traction and get going where you need to go.
Now, if the kitty litter doesn't help you get out, it's recommended that you stay in your car and call for help rather than brave the elements. Of course, there are a few things to note when you're driving. Obviously, slow down, give other cars plenty of room, also the plows, and don't give up control of your car to cruise. Live in Waterloo, Taylor Vessel, News 7 KWWL.
All right, Taylor, thank you. And you know, things are looking pretty similar across the state.
That's right, Abby. In fact, a lot of portions of eastern Iowa are already putting out snow emergencies. They're very common snow emergencies, but not in Iowa City. Iowa City will not be one of them this time. Storm Track 7 Jalyn Souchek live for us in Iowa City tonight, where the storm will be closing in.
Yeah, and Jalyn, tell us exactly what you're seeing at this hour.
Abby and Ron, I'm very happy to report that snowstorm hasn't hit us quite yet. And it really isn't too bad out here. We'll see if we're lucky to stay the same coming up at 6. But when it does start to snow, the city says they will be deploying all 13 of their trucks to start tackling the roadways. The streets department says they will have 26 employees working shifts through the night clearing the roads. The city doesn't actually treat the roads before the storm, but they will put down a mixture of salt and sand on the primary roads. The city also isn't asking people to move their cars off the roadways because, again, Iowa City did not declare a snow emergency like many other communities we did see to do.
Snow emergencies are difficult to call in Iowa City due to a lot of commuter traffic that comes into the Iowa City for the university and then all the students that we have. So it's always a challenge with parked vehicles in the city of Iowa City.
And they'll only be focusing on 13 main routes seen here in red. Those are considered the priority streets. That's your downtown area, major roads like Burlington and Dubuque streets. Once the snow does stop, they'll move on to those secondary roads. But these are significant events for the city. To put it in perspective, the streets department tells me last weekend when they had that snowstorm, it cost the city an estimated $84,000 to clear the roadways. Reporting live, Jalyn Souchek, Storm Track 7 News.
Jalyn, thank you very much. You forget just how many miles of roads the city has. And as a reminder, of course, when winter weather strikes, as it's going to be doing tonight, overnight, we've got you covered. And as always, for the full list of cancellations, delays, early outs, head to our website at KWWL.com, and there just go to the weather tab, click on the weather tab to find the complete list.
And also the KWWL News and Storm Track 7 apps are something that you can add to your smartphone, of course, and you'll want to make sure that you are signed up for our news and weather alerts. They are available on both the Google Play Store and also the Apple App Store.
And a lot of you are getting pretty good at this, we'd like to say. If you have pictures or video of the snowstorm that you'd like to share, and can do so safely, do that by going to our Facebook page, KWWL Facebook. While you're there, please like our page and stay up to date on breaking news, weather, and sports information anytime.
Well, coming up, we're going to take a look at how our Midwestern neighbors are faring during this winter storm.
Also, we'll have a live report from northwestern Iowa as they are already taking on the deep freeze. That live report coming up right here in just a few minutes.
Right now, we do want to take a live look at the Storm Track 7 live Doppler radar. Chief Meteorologist Mark Schneckenberg will have the full forecast coming up. You're watching News 7 KWWL. We've got you covered in Waverly, Monticello, Stanley, and of course, your hometown.
This is KWWL News at 5 with Ron Steele. Abby Turpin, and Storm Track 7 Chief Meteorologist Mark Schnackenberg. We've got you covered.